Hi, everybody. Welcome, and I know you might be tired with all the sessions that have sort of happened till now, right? But we'll try to keep this as exciting as possible, as interesting and insightful as possible. So the discussion rather is around the strategies that that young and upcoming brands should ideally leverage or utilize, right? Which future-proofs them in the coming years. Uh, so I think I personally have been fortunate to be part of three young startups, right, who have gone on to become like, one of them is a unicorn now, the other one is valued at over $100 million. Currently, the brand that I'm with, KindLife, right, we're again starting out. So I've pretty much had that experience of really being part of organizations or teams that have grown from like scratch and become like huge giants out there in their industries. Uh, a couple of things that I personally feel are essential and very critical initially uh, from a point of view that really helps in the coming years rather. First and foremost is like, what is the purpose or what is the value that, and it could be any product, right? I mean, I've been personally involved in CPG, like FMCG as well, in beauty and personal care currently. I've been in the services industry as well, right? But the idea is that what value are you actually, and very transparently sort of offering to the customer or the consumer, and and the kind of transparency that's in it, right? So one of the most important things is that there needs to be consistency in terms of, let's say, the kind of tonality or the kind of potential customers or consumers that you might have. Of course, it's a lot of people might say that it is an ever-evolving process, and I agree with that. However, the idea is that you as a brand need to be aware and need to sort of hold on to those basic foundation very, very clearly, right? I mean, every single day you can't be changing your target audience, right? So you need to lay that foundation very, very clearly. Secondly, specifically for, I think, CPG brands, right, where there's a physical product out there, I think one of the most important marketing tools, I mean, I think we'll talk about, it's all of us are running digitally native brands, right? So I think CACs and CPMs and all of these metrics are there. But for me personally, I think samplings and trials become a very, very important aspect for any product-based company, right? Because I mean, when we talk about a basic marketing funnel, I think it's top of mind consideration and actual purchases that happen, right? So top of mind can either happen through, let's say, an Instagram ad that you see or a television ad that you see, right? And at the same time, a top of mind can happen if you actually receive a sample sometime and you get to try it. So you partially sort of fulfill the consideration funnel to it as well. Right. Another thing I think that needs to be done early on for most of the companies is effectively data, right? I mean, the reliance on data also becomes very critical, although I mean, intuition is very important, but I think changing or pivoting your strategies at time in terms of data, what's selling, what's not selling, because let's say you start off with 10 SKUs, and there's a Pareto's rule, right, that 20% of the SKUs are contributing to about 80% of the revenue altogether. So you know what SKUs are not essentially doing well. So, and that you can only gauge through data, right? And regularly deep diving into it, that becomes very important from day one, right? No matter what scale that you're at. Um, Also, I personally, again, feel that thinking just out of the box, building credibility for the brands from day one. I mean, that every product, I mean, as a founder or as member of any team, right, we feel that our product is extremely differentiated, right, from the rest of the competitors out there. The idea is, how do you convey it to your potential consumers out there? That can and again, adding that transparency, what we just saw in the previous discussion as well, right? As to if there's a beauty and personal care product, what is the origin story for it? If there's a tea product, what is the origin story? Is it coming from Darjeeling? Is it coming from Assam? Or a beauty personal care product, if it's coming from Korea, what's the story behind it? Because as a consumer as well, you're bombarded with just so many options, right? There are just so many brands, but what differentiates you is how you connect with the customer potentially, right? And for that, you need to really take them to the very roots of how the product started, right? From where it started effectively. And also in today's time, I think in the digital era, right? I mean, it's the time of the Gen Zs and the millennials, right? Who are the biggest focus for I think all of us sitting here. Most of them are also inclined towards purpose-driven brands, right? Brands that are actually sort of giving back to the society or are sustainable, or how are they contributing to the environment or the planet altogether, right? So if I think there is that particular angle associated to the brand, and it needs to be genuine, not just as CSR marketing or a PR tactic, but if it's as genuine as it is, because the customer is not stupid or dumb enough to not figure out if it's genuine or not. So I think that really helps. And one thing before we open it up for the rest of the panelists as well, right? I think differentiated partnerships and alliances, right? I think is extremely critical, where you get to partner with like-minded, non-competitive target audience, right? Let's say if you are a coffee brand and you want to sort of partner with a cookie brand for that matter, right? Which is somewhat complementary but not competitive to it. You tap into their audience base, they tap into yours, right? So it's a mutually beneficial agenda to it, right? So I think these are some very basic levers and pointers that need to be considered while you're starting out a brand or launching a product altogether. So I think that's there. But I want to also sort of discuss that, I mean, innovation for that matter, right, is very critical and very important. So Yash, I would want to know from you as to what is your approach or mindset when it comes to, let's say, innovations or setting up processes in that particular direction? I mean, how do you go about it? What's your approach altogether?
So I'll tell you. Before I start, I'll introduce myself. I am Yash, founder of a brand called Hancock. Hancock is available across all leading e-commerce channels on our own website. So the topic for today is very interesting. It says innovation and how you can, future-proof your brand. Yes. So I'll tell you, if you have desire, if you have interest, if you have desired skills, you identify a business goal, you work for a few years towards that business goal, you gain some competence, you come to a stage where you call it as core competencies. So you achieve some core competencies. But, many brands, when they reach to that stage, they become very rigid. So their core competencies get converted into core rigidities. And they start falling from that scale. Why this happens? Because they don't accept changes. They don't visualize the upcoming threats in terms of the competition, innovative companies that are coming and challenging their status quo every day. So innovation and change is the only constant, and there is nothing called as future-proof. Future-proof कुछ नहीं होता है. You have to work every day, day in, day out. हर रोज innovation करनी है. Innovation not just only in terms of a product, because since we are into fashion itself means somehow making new products, innovative products every day. So it's not only about innovative products, it's also about your business practices, your marketing strategies, your operation strategies, your finance strategies, your HR skills, everything. So you have to be innovative. Innovation will only keep you at the top. Innovation will only distinguish you from your competition, and always. That is what I believe. And it's also, we should not do कि आप ये कर रहे हो तो मैं ये कर लेता हूँ, मेरे लिए भी अच्छा होगा. नहीं. You should always do some SWOT analysis कि what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what are threats in terms of my competition, and what are the challenges that are real challenges that I have to address to. After addressing all these things, you should think about कि मेरे को करना क्या है. Okay, how I can distinguish, because there is competition sitting. आप कुछ innovate करोगे आज, कल competition आ जाएगा, then you will lose your market share again. So you have to keep innovating every day. रात को सपनों में भी innovation आती है, ऐसा होता है.
Got it. No, I think totally makes sense, right? That there's nothing that can be future-proofed, right? I mean, scenarios change overnight. COVID hit, things changed for everybody, not businesses as individuals. I mean, the entire world changed, right? Within a span of like a week or so with the lockdown implemented. So totally agreed, but we need to keep on innovative, keep adapting to what changes are. So Niharika, I would want to understand from you, right, that, I mean, I'm sure with innovation, there might have been a lot of strategies that you implemented or probably missed out on. So do you think there are any particular strategies or decisions you could have potentially taken earlier that would have, you would have wanted to take them earlier rather? Yeah.
Thank you for the question. My name is Niharika and my brand is Marsallime. It's a body care brand based out of Jhansi. Fairly young, it's been 2 years old. So I have a lot of insight to share. Previously, I was abroad for 6 years and then fresh out of college, I came back and started working on my company. Business चलाना कुछ नहीं पता था क्या करना है. Website, e-commerce, कुछ भी नहीं पता था. थोड़ी बहुत research करी, जो कुछ था R&D किया and started with 18 body care SKUs, like really cutesy, fun. किसी ने suggest किया pop-ups करो. So my father helped me a lot. We did some 35 pop-ups in 12 different cities. I tried retail in 3 stores in Jhansi. ये पूरी जर्नी 1.5 years तक चली when I was a solo person packing the boxes and making orders, designing, all of those things. बहुत basic level पे कम MOQs पे किया. इसमें क्या हुआ, बहुत कुछ सीखा. ब्रांड आइडेंटिटी बनाना, how you have to be gimmicky enough to get attention but not so gimmicky that you're not taken seriously. Standardization. मैंने छोटे छोटे लेवल पे अपने लिए बहुत स्ट्रेस बना लिया था. So anyways, वो 1.5 years में पूरी गेम समझ में आ गई, सब wrap up किया and this April we standardized it. Like I said, I started with 17 SKUs and 8 categories. So narrowed it down to 3 categories and 7 SKUs and started scaling digitally from this April. This is something I wish I had done a year ago. Because even when we are at pop-ups and we are at retail stores, आज के ज़माने में when 8 to 10 hours, people are on Instagram and if there's no digital presence, people don't trust your brand. That's a reality. Even if there's a salesperson explaining and आप written WhatsApp reviews दिखा रहे हो, like that, it doesn't work on the larger scale if you're actually trying to build a business. So I wish I started the digital debut of my company a year ago. वो pop-ups और retail से जितना सीखा, उसकी तो खैर मैं उसको value नहीं add कर सकती, उसने बहुत सिखाया मुझे. But all that could have been compressed to a 4 to 5 month period strategically. And after that, based on that insight, we should have started scaling digitally. So this is definitely one thing which would have, हमारी company को 1-2 साल आगे बढ़ा देता. So for anyone who's at an early stage, I would say कि लोग सोचते हैं कि the market only gives you one shot या digitally करना है तो बिल्कुल perfect होके करना है. शुरू में आपके ad spends इतने होते नहीं है, brand आपके लिए है लेकिन audience अभी जानती नहीं है brand को, तो आप छोटे scale पे experiments कर सकते हैं. So don't be afraid of launching digitally early, trying and then making those changes as you learn, because that time also financially it's also easy to manage. Because it's not at a big scale. So now, thankfully, everything worked out and now we are scaling digitally and it's working well. But like जैसा आपने कहा कि some strategy or some risk or some decision which you would have taken earlier, I wish I started paying attention to the Instagram, to our website, to the customer experience through our website and post-purchase experience way earlier. क्योंकि वो figure out करने में भी time लगता है. So yeah, that's something which I would suggest and that's been my journey. So yeah.
No, I think the most important thing to it is that acknowledging that where we potentially sort of missed out, so that we can now work on it further, right? So I think half the battle is won when we realize where we potentially missed out, right? To correct ourselves in every aspect, right? Not just professionally, but in every aspect of life, right? But so when we look at, I mean, these strategies, or when we look at innovation, and everybody wants fast growth, right? Everybody wants rapid growth, or immediately we want market share. We want to be the market leaders, right? But at times, a lot of businesses, right, might compromise on, let's say, ethics, or might compromise on transparency, and might not be following the best of practices from a business standpoint, right? So, Astha, I would want to understand from you as a business owner, right? How does that come into play? As I had initially mentioned, that I think having a purpose-driven brand always adds value to you, right? To your business. So how do you see that aspect?
Hi everyone. So I'm Astha. I own a brand called Shyle. It's a silver jewelry brand. We're based in Jaipur and we have over 3,85,000 follower base on Instagram today. So, you know, so I have had an experience of over 5.5 years with the brand today. And talking about ethics, whenever we start a business, हमारा focus हमेशा होता है कि numbers बढ़ाने, metrics बढ़ाने, revenue बढ़ाना है. ये सब चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा important है to keep you moving. But if you are ethical since day one at every touch point of your system, आपकी कंपनी के ग्राउंड लेवल्स पे बात कर लीजिए या फ्रंट एंड पे बात कर लीजिए जहाँ आप क्लाइंट हैंडलिंग कर रहे हैं. So you have to be ethical. I personally say brand sustenance के लिए ही बहुत important है. When we talk about front end, तो at every touch point, be it your product portrayal, if I am talking about digital, you know, a D2C brand which is operating online, so your brand portrayal, your brand description, your client handling digitally, your after sales service, every single touch point you have to be ethical. अच्छा, offline में तो you are there to explain, but online में there's a challenge for the person to trust your brand, to trust in you, to trust your ethics, and people compliment you, people trust you if they find that kind of trust in the brand, right? So वहाँ पे तो, you know, we know that customer is the king. So वहाँ पे तो कोई compromise है ही नहीं. And at Shyle we have not left a single point जहाँ पे ethics compromise हो. We apologize a client जहाँ हमें लगता है हमारी 1% भी mistake है. We are never, I'm never defending कि मेरे staff ने mistake नहीं किए या मेरे product में नहीं थी, ये था वो था. No, we are there. You know, we are there to apologize, we are there to assist. We are the go-to person, and I have seen it with a lot of brands. You know, if I want to talk to the founder or whomsoever has, you know, has that kind of designation or high designation in a company, the staff is like, no, I'm sorry, I cannot forward the call there, I cannot make you talk there. Why? At Shyle, we are very open. We have a very good client base. It's fortunately a leading silver jewelry brand today in online space. But I am available on call if somebody really wants to talk to me, if somebody wants to, you know, sort out an issue there. So front end की बात तो बहुत ज़्यादा लोग करते हैं, and there are a lot of expert talks around it. I would like to highlight the ground level. क्या आप ethical हो? आपके labor, आपके कारीगर, आपके office boy, आपका backend staff, are you? I have been, me and my partner Radhesh, we have literally percolated that ethics through in the system of the company, and I'll try to make sure that it is there even uh, it's a 100 crore or a 500 crore company that weighs. So whatever the team size is, ethics कहीं नहीं जाने चाहिए. मेरा कारीगर खुश होगा तो वो हाथ से बहुत अच्छे से ज्वेलरी बनाएगा तो मैं आपको एक अच्छा प्रोडक्ट दे पाऊंगी. अगर मेरे सिस्टम में मेरे एम्प्लॉयज़ ही हैप्पी नहीं है, इफ़ आई एम नॉट काइंड टू देम, आई एम नॉट कर्टियस टू देम, इफ़ आई एम डूइंग अननेसेसरी पे कट्स, if I do I'm promoting, for instance, chai wala koi child labor he I'm doing that. No, I cannot. I've made sure mera chai wala bachcha bhi bachcha nahi hai. The office boy, anywhere I have to be very, very ethical. And as a company, if you can, please promote the education of your, for instance, हमारे यहाँ we have our factory, we have our manufacturing unit, मेरे कारीगर हैं, उनके छोटे बच्चे भी हैं. In case they are not able to afford the education, I try to do my bit. I try to keep them motivated. We treat each other as a family. So it's a team size of over 40 now, and we do make sure that we are happy there when everybody is following that term of ethics. Nobody is cheating everybody. Nobody is be it the front end or be it the ground level. So yes.
No, I totally agree, right? And to your point, so couple of things, right, that you mentioned. One, effectively, is that, let's say, if there is a challenge that the brand is facing, let's say a bad batch went out to customers, or if there was a wrong messaging that went out through a marketing, during a marketing campaign or something, and there was a backlash from consumers, right? I think there should be no qualms in sort of admitting, as a brand, admitting your mistake, coming out clean, because that makes that relatability, creates that relatability and genuineness with the consumer, right? Because mistakes can happen, right? I mean, if we are sort of behind that curtain of perfection, which doesn't really exist out there, right? The customer is, again, as I had initially said, you can't really fool him for a longer duration. Same way as ethics and sustainability and all of these activities that a lot of brands claim, the bigger ones especially, they might not be true, but might just be a PR tactic, right? And now the customer really figures out with internet, with so much awareness in general, right? Especially the younger consumers per se. So I think that's very important. And I think when we talk about innovation, when we talk about future-proofing, right? I think the core essence behind, and being digitally native brands, right? I think technology is the spine and the backbone of it all, right? So I would like to sort of understand from you, Janardhan, as to what are those technological or digital strategies, right, that you sort of implement as a business to ensure that, I mean, it comes in, it's more of a boon for you guys. So just walk us through that, help us with that.
I'm Swahar. I had a company called 𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻. The philosophy of 𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻 was to create a vegetable that is shelf stable in an ambient condition for 1 year. It was simple, but we complicated it without additives, without preservatives, without pesticide residue. Farm traceability is what we deliver. Just before I go, I believe, Astha, I take one thing more, telling in the entire journey of our business, we have been pretty soulful in keeping the ethics of what we stock, and we actually mean good for all. And then it took us quite a lot of time to make people believe we could make a product with all these attributes. Now, coming back to reality, okay, one of the missing factors is we all rush too fast and we fail. Ethics, behavior, good product takes multiple years to percolate into a person, and it becomes a lifestyle. So a lot of marketeers, we forget telling one trial, a repeat purchase is not victory. Multiple repeats takes us to the next level of customer likingness, and then we make strategies work faster. Now, in the last X number of years we exist as a brick and mortar model. Supermarkets, where you buy vegetables, okay, is where we are. All our products are vacuumed. You can see a brand called Tada, so that is what we manufacture. In this product, the largest retailer in India took 5 years to accept a product can be with all these attributes, and then they could place it. Now comes the challenge. In the last 2-3 years, the market dynamics for brick and mortar has started changing drastically. The importance of quick commerce is increasing every day. E-commerce is significantly increasing. Last 2 quarters, 600 stores offline have closed. Now, this is a trend shift which is going to happen, and we are going to be ready to embrace it. And people may come back to brick and mortar over a period of time, but the reality is really hard. Today morning, one of the largest India retail group shut 80 stores. Okay, so as it goes on, our strategies on digital is becoming very important as a player for a vegetable producing company to shift. Now, in the opening speech, the moderator very efficiently put in telling trials. So a product which is not yet tested, the largest inhibition for anybody is to trust the product and put it in your mouth to eat. Now, trials is the only story which we have to increase efficiency in the entire trust, and to get you into a habit of trying me is the largest challenge we face. All our digital campaigns, okay, are ending up in trial purposes where we figure out ways that you can possibly try something. So a coupon or a trial pack, etc., where the inventions we had to change from a promoter-led. A promoter normally stands at a supermarket and says, please try this, you like it, and you buy the dip or you buy the vegetable. Now from there, in the digital transformation, we went through a huge psychological barrier trying, how do you make somebody random in this room eat me? So all our campaigns initially was, all the advisors said we will do search engine optimization, we will do meta, everything happened, but nothing worked for us for some time. Then came the wave telling, okay, this is not working. And then we started doing the build-up where a lot of the, quick commerce currently has Tada on the coupon in many ways. You could try many of the products, and then traction built in our commerce. Now, once we built it, we had the next stage to innovate. In certain supermarkets where we do outside India, we have a presence in 23 countries. We started working on products, which are farm traceable, the storytelling of residue free. This gave us the most densest, affinity to any customer in the whole market. In India, we tried this and we flopped. So not necessary that any of the strategy which works in A market also works in B market. In India, when we did our pesticide residue free campaign, and then it bombed out, we went to our target segment and asked why. So one lady who apparently was questioned, who was a buyer to me, she said, "Hum to pesticide PP ke bade hue hain. So does it make sense in this country? Maybe or may not. I'm not going to take opinion based on one person. But the question remains is marketing strategy in multiple markets bomb. Some markets are ridiculously stupid and it takes off. So as we go back and use the word innovative, innovation also means ready to fail. And many of our strategies may not see daylight tomorrow, but if you do not take the leap of faith, we are still there where we were.
No, I think that was insightful. That makes sense, that a lot of strategies that brands sort of implement or think about also might work in a particular geography, might not work in a particular geography, right? different cohorts, different audiences might or might not resonate with them. So therefore, I mean, time and again, you keep on innovating, you keep on trying out new things, right? While we, as businesses, while we do that, I mean, there are a lot of no-brainer strategies that we implement, and there are a lot of out-of-the-box thinking or a lot of risks that need to be taken, right? So, Sushant, coming to you, right? I mean, do you have specific set of examples where you might have taken risks for your business? What were the factors you considered? What are the things you sort of are extremely conscious of while taking those risks, right? And if you would have any suggestions or insights on the same.
Hi, my name is Sushant Nayyar. I'm founder of Denzour Nutrition. We make sports nutrition and nutraceutical products for all of your health well-being. Future-proofing and thinking about future, we all do in our day-to-day life. I'll just start with my career path. How unwillingly, unknowingly, we all do, take care of our future. I started up my career in 2000 with a company called Dabur. We all know Dabur because of honey and Chyawanprash. But most of us will not be knowing that Dabur was a big time in pharma and pioneer in the field of oncology. I joined in Journal Pharma, but I realized that Journal Pharma, you don't have much science to talk. Being from a science background, so I shifted myself to oncology segment of this company, and I studied about oncology and grew up the ladders from there because I thought about the future, that Journal Pharma selling cough syrups and all will not take me anywhere. So I shifted to oncology and I studied a lot oncology. And because of the knowledge which I gained, I was promoted much before even my seniors. Then I shifted a couple of companies, and my last assignment was I was working with 𝐒𝐻 Pharma. We all know Namita because of Shark Tank. I was reporting to her for finance, and for business, I was reporting to her father, Satish Mehta. And from there, 2010, I left and started my pharma business. I was into logistics of pharma business. So there also I started up with super specialty segments only for oncology and nephrology, because there we were talking science. And future-proofing that business, I introduced a lot of innovation in terms of technology, whatever technology back in 2010 we had. So that really helped us because as we all talk about quality and logistics, I met a lot of partners outside. So there, cold chain is a major problem. So I introduced a new technology into cold chain, which I sold it to many companies thereafter. So that was a distinguishing factor which took our business to heights, and now a big group has acquired major shares in our company. So future-proofing that business, I started up with, after COVID, we started this company, Denzour Nutrition. Keeping in mind, their nutrition as such is very less talked and very less understood in Indian population. Only people sitting here, they said, we know about what nutrition is. But if you go to journal section, major population of this country, they don't even think about it. How much protein they should take, how vitamins and minerals, what are the importance. So we started this company and thought of taking it to the masses. So we introduced many products, and which are, some of the products are specialized into sports segment, athletes will consume it, and some general products which every population, whether they are working out or athlete or not, they'll be using it. So now innovations and future-proofing this business, as a gentleman in the previous session asked a question that things are changing so fast that previously Doordarshan, then other TV channels, people used to give ads, then internet came and UGC content, influencer era, what is coming next? So we all don't know, because D2C itself is a new thing. It is evolving itself. So future-proofing this would can only be done through crazy ideas. And to get these crazy ideas, I go to kids, I go to colleges. I was in Pune for a talk in a college. So I sat with 5, 7 kids, and they gave me really crazy ideas. And people would laugh on those ideas, but I take them. So there are certain things which we are implementing, which those kids have, suggested us. And if I talk of technology, because we are manufacturing our products ourselves, we are introducing AI and other technologies to skip the errors so that our errors can be minimized, or maybe we can come to the zero error form as well. Because one step is not complete, our software would not allow the second step to complete. So there is nothing there is no formula of future-proofing your business. You can try new things, you can evolve new things. Whatever you're doing right now, do it with full heart, do it with full ethics. So that will lead to a level where you get the new ideas yourself, and success is bound to come.
I'm sorry, but I'm adding a point to you. Since it's a part of a question which is left out in the last forum, there is a trend shift towards promoter speaking or the founder speaking. In the food industry, we have started seeing a new trend emerge. People have started reading labels. Label will be the next big move which is going to happen in terms of clarity. Maybe other industries will take a little time, but since both of us are in similar business, nutraceutical, closer to us, we will see an emergence. If the gentleman is here, possibly I'm the Nostradamus for today, maybe I'm wrong, but we will see a big shift towards transparency of the label, and we will start seeing the label speaking a larger role. This is happening across our segment. We might see end result like minimum residue levels, etc., coming into the food industry, which is going to be very serious. We have seen EVO becoming a big challenge to many of the masala manufacturers in the recent past, but the holy grail or the crystal ball forward is going to be the label.
Totally agreed, right? I mean, with the penetration of internet, especially in a country like India, the kind of awareness that the younger generation has about everything, anything and everything, right? I think labels and education about the industry, as I think Sushant mentioned, right? That nutrition, there's over the past couple of years, I think in comparison to, let's say, 2015, 16, the awareness about nutrition, it has slightly shifted. I personally feel there is still a lot of scope, a lot of gap there that needs to be sort of covered, right? However, one aspect that I think, in fact, two that I wanted to discuss, right? I mean, again, we can't future-proof anything, as all of us have collectively agreed upon. But see, you can have a great product. That's the spine and the backbone of it. You can be extremely ethical. You can have the right sourcing, the right labels and packaging. But I think one thing that often gets undermined is building a team of not just loyal people, but of entrepreneurs, right? We often talk about entrepreneurs, but building a team where each and every one has that sort of accountability, each and everyone has that sort of ownership in the business. And I'm not saying from a remuneration or a monetary perspective, but just having that sense of authority and passion about about what you're building. And why this aspect is extremely important for me personally, because I've been on this side of things, right? As we commenced the discussion where I said that I've just worked in early age startups, helped them, been a part of their journey till the time they grew to a certain scale, right? So I absolutely agree. I see my peers and colleagues in certain environments, right, where it's not just a regular job that they're doing, but it's it's something that they're extremely passionate about. So I think as business owners, as people in the leadership team for any organization, right, I think it's extremely important to percolate that or ensure that there's a trickle-down impact of the kind of passion that you have, that somebody should not be leaving your company for another company for, let's say, a 10% hike, or probably they're not satisfied enough in terms of the kind of job they're doing. It's your responsibility as management to ensure that they feel that this is where they belong to.
One more thing I would like to mention. When I was in that college, a kid gave me an idea and we have started working on it. It's been 4 months we are working on that idea. The kid gave me an idea that why don't somebody develop a software or an app which predicts what kind of disease you may get in future. That was a very good idea. So I added to it, and we are working on a product which, if you put all of your inputs, your daily routine, your daily habits, your background, your health background, your parents' health details, it will give you an idea that what are the diseases you're prone to. And if you put up some blood markers into it, it'll tell you what kind of supplements you should take, what kind of food habits you should have. And if you dive deep into it, it will give you a genetic idea as well. In future, you might, you're high risk of getting cancer without any drastic tests. You know, don't have to go for a biopsy or genome test and all. It can give you an idea. If you fall into that category, yes, you might go for those kind of tests. So we are starting, for first phase will be on nutrition only, that what kind of nutrition you should take, what minerals, what vitamins will be vital for you. So hopefully
Sushant,
we'll be ready with
fact,
the idea.
What you just mentioned, right? So at KindLife, we are actually doing that already. So we have a patented product, 100% AI enabled, where, I mean, the camera sort of analyzes your skin, the kind of products that need to be used, what could have been the reason for it. There are, again, entirely AI enabled that you might have queries, or there might be suggestions to it, right, basis your skin type. So I think that nowadays, I mean, that will be the future, right? I mean, it's not just about offering the right kind of product, but what are the additional services or benefits that you're giving, what additional information rather, and as accurate as it can be, that you're offering to the potential consumers, right?
Many of us sitting here would be insulin tolerant. I mean, insulin resistance would be developing in our body. We don't know. That kind of product will tell you that you are insulin resistant. So go to your doctor, consult, and start medication. So that will help a lot of people that in future they won't fall into diabetic category. So hopefully we'll be able to develop that product.
I have a point to make. So when I was in college, my professor used to tell me कि इंडिया में बिजनेस करना तो बहुत इजी है, पैसा सड़कों पे पड़ा होता है, किसी को नज़र आना चाहिए उठाने के लिए, नज़र आएगा तो कोई भी उठा लेगा. तो मैं बहुत सोचता था कि यार इसका मतलब क्या हुआ. तो फ्यू डेज बैक ओनली आई वाज थिंकिंग, यार इंडिया अभी भी डेवलपिंग कंट्री है. ऐसा क्या हो जाएगा कि जिससे हम डेवलप्ड कंट्री कहलाने लायक बन जाएंगे? ऐसा कब होगा? इसका कोई क्लियर आंसर नहीं है. बट आई थॉट कि ऐसा तभी हो सकता है कि आवर पॉपुलेशन इज ग्रोइंग and we are the largest populated country of the world now. It can only happen when our infrastructure, rate of growth of infrastructure beats the rate of growth of our population. कि अब infrastructure, flyover, road, infrastructure इतना हो गया कि अब और ज़रूरत ही नहीं बनाने की, because जितनी population है उसके लिए काफ़ी है. So मोदी जी has said कि 2048 तक हम developed country बन सकते हैं. So ये जो अभी 24 साल बची है, हम लोगों को बहुत एक अच्छा मौका दे रहा है. It's an opportunity for all of us कि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप होगा, एंड वी आर पार्ट ऑफ दैट इकोसिस्टम. बहुत बिजनेस उसमें बनने वाला है.
Very rightly said. See, where you gonna put your money? You're not gonna put your money where the development is already done. Money would be made where the development is going on.
Yes.
So for another 20-25 years, India will remain a land of opportunities. Yes. Invest wherever you can, you will get amazing results. You see, I travel a lot, so people are eyeing Indian market to put their money. Although market is going down, it's the market nature. He says he'll bounce back. But India will remain the land of opportunities, not only for Indians, for entire world. Every company, every country is eyeing India for their investments. So why not, as he rightly said, कि पैसा सड़कों पे पड़ा है, लेने वाला चाहिए.
नजर आना
The
चाहिए.
opportunities are immense. Just go for it.
I think we're out of time now. So, but it was an extremely insightful discussion that we had, and yeah, I think we'll just wrap it up at that. And yeah, hope you guys had fun sort of listening to us talk. If you have any questions, all of us would be available outside the stage as well. Thanks.